I think it is, Heather. The site is so beautiful. Obviously, I've never been in an overpass, but it's so clear right now. It's just a beautiful sight. You see that silhouette, which is the full moon. Sight. You see that silhouette, which is the full moon, and then you see the circle around it, the corona. It is just a beautiful sight. And when you realize, think back hundreds of years when people didn't know what was going on. Ancient people who lived in ancient lands around the world, when they saw an eclipse like this, they got very nervous. Also, it's very interesting to watch. I find the birds. The birds don't know what's going on at all. It's been daylight. They were waiting for darkness in many hours. Suddenly it's not darkness now. They always look confused. They'll fly.
चांद ग्रहण
Darkness now. They always look confused. They'll fly one way, then another way. I've always found that interesting in these eclipses. But you can see behind me, people have calmed down. You don't hear the cheering like you did before. But it's
believe
just
the sound behind
scene.
me. It is just magnificent. We're looking at live pictures as you describe it. Thank you so much, Steve, and you enjoy the rest of Totality and the experience. I so appreciate it. The crowd behind me going wild because they see things improving. The cloud is parting. We may see a much more full experience than what we were afraid of with the cloud earlier today. But I want to take you to Florenceville, Bristol right now because I don't want to miss what's going on there. Someone is taking eclipse watching to new heights. Brett Ruskin, take it away.
Heather, so this is what's happening right now. We're looking forward to the experience that Steve was just describing. But take a look behind me. So there's a balloon here. I'm going to actually give us a close-up look at what's happening as I describe what is happening here in Florenceville, Bristol. So this balloon is being filled up as we speak with helium. It is being attached and has been attached to this tower. Now this tower has telescopes, has cameras, has computers inside it. It is going to be lifting above what was anticipated to be clouds in the sky because there was only a 30% chance that there would be clear skies today here in this part of the country on this day of the year. So the odds were against the team, even though the path of totality was cutting right across New Brunswick. They said, oh, it's going to be cloudy. So let's take a look at what we could do to compensate for that, to eliminate that variable of the clouds. So let's go right above the clouds. That is what this project is designed to try to accomplish by putting that telescope above the clouds. And so really we're pretty close right now, Heather, to the time that they plan to launch it. And this, in speaking with the organizers, this is the most tense part. This is the part that we're most worried about, because there's the wind. You can probably hear it on the microphone. Because there's the wind that can push the balloon around, it can also kind of jostle that sensitive equipment. Let's take a look once again at what's happening here. The balloon has a mechanism to release itself from that payload once it's reached a certain height, or at any point they can push a button and release it. A parachute deploys and it slowly comes down. They anticipate it's going to come down somewhere in the middle of New Brunswick, basically in the middle of the woods. Previously, during test flights, it's landed in the middle of Maine, so across the border. Other times, kind of a few kilometers from here, again in the woods. So there's a team ready to go with trackers. So basically just hang out here, Heather, as we watch to see as this balloon lifts off. So if there was ever cloud karma, I mentioned this before, of all this work that was put in with the anticipation that there could be clouds, but this is a really ideal conditions here. This really is just cherry on the cake in terms of a bonus for folks who are here experiencing this.
Brett, I don't want to leave you because I'm afraid that we'll just go away from your location and they will launch. Do you have any? Yell over at them. Just let us know how close they are. Should we stay or should we go? What do you think?
I mean, they said at 45 and we're at 47 now.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm just thinking as I look at this, go and see if you had an idea, because I'll just mention that this is one of so many interesting experiments going on today. They are sending kites up. Okay, go ahead. I'll keep talking. We're watching. They are sending kites up above the cloud.
Yeah.
We know that NASA is
next couple minutes. Okay.
sending up its WB-57 high-altitude jet planes, doing research above the clouds, following the moon shadow, chasing the moon shadow at high speeds so that it can have a long period of totality to study the corona. They're shooting rockets into the air. All of these experiments today, Brett, this is part of this huge amount of science being done. I'm thinking for a moment of all of the experiments going on as we talk in areas of partial solar eclipse, in totality. With all of the advances in technology, with all of the imaging advances, we are going to learn so much about our universe, about the cosmos today, and the group there is going to help us. Now, what did they tell you? They're just about ready to go. Should we stay with this?
So they said next couple of minutes, but I want to mention something because you talked about the planes and the different pieces of technology. Oh, are we going away or are we staying?
No, stay with you.
Okay, so the planes. Nav Canada is here. Transport Canada is here. The FAA has been notified as well. If you have a plane tracker, a plane tracking app, this actually has one of the locator beacons. So if you're watching at home on your second screen, you can type in, it's BBST10. BBST10. There's a tracker on this device that is going to be popping up on that screen because it's going into commercial airspace. It's going 50, 100,000 feet above the sky, so into that commercial space. So they've actually had to reroute some of the transatlantic flight routes to accommodate this device going up into that airspace. So it is very interesting. You see David Hunter here. He's kind of the mastermind in the blue sweater there. And it looks like, I'll give you a close-up here of what's happening with the helium because they are, there's helium, there's one tank there that may be expired now. They might be switching helium tanks.
Okay. I feel like we're watching the launch of SpaceX or something, and they're doing the final checks, and I should be counting down, Brett, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, like I'm at NASA TV. That's what it feels like, this excitement level. I don't want to go away.
It's like SpaceX if everyone working at SpaceX were volunteers and retired. from their jobs
exactly.
usually as a professor.
Maybe we can keep this. Maybe we can keep this up on the screen on split screen, because I don't want to go away, but I also don't want to lose my next guest because he's watching. So just stand by with me, Brett. I want to bring in Jay Scotland. He's on Prince Edward Island. Jay used to be a big part of our team on CBC Morning Live. He's now the meteorologist on Compass. Such a great guy. He's got his glasses on. Excellent, safe watching. Jay, what is happening there where you are? And tell me how you must be very excited about today.
I am. In 2017 here on PEI, I had a chance with my daughter Abby to take in the partial eclipse at that time with a pinhole projector. I think we made it out of a cereal box, and it worked. I have never experienced a total eclipse before, and really, we are seeing the unexpected happening today, and that is a clear sky in the maritime provinces and across PEI, where a good chunk of our province, Heather, is going to be experiencing totality between 4:35 and 4:40. Around 4:37 where we are will be that max for totality, and man, oh man, to see a cloud-free sky on PEI in early April, I think the odds of overcast conditions here are between 60 and 70%. So this is truly unprecedented weather to take in this total eclipse today.
You know, Jay, as you're talking, the other half of our screen, you have another camera sitting and rolling. And so we're seeing, so the partial eclipse is underway. It's taken that bite out of the sun. It's starting to move across the sun's surface. What are you most looking forward to, Jay, just personally, when you see totality there for the first time?
Just to know that I'm standing in a celestial shadow. I think that's going to be, it's almost a deep connection with things beyond, what we see immediately around us, and to see that effect. And I'm really interested to see, I've heard that the colors green and blue can look a lot more vibrant just with the lighting conditions during a total solar eclipse. So I made sure to wear a green shirt today, as the grass really hasn't greened up all that much just yet here on PEI. But man, oh man, to get to experience between 2 to 3 minutes for Western PEI of totality today, and even the eastern half of the island, very close to 100% coverage in terms of that total eclipse. This is really a historic event, a once-in-a-lifetime event, Heather, and I will say, the next time this happens on PEI, 55 years from now, I'll be 98, 2079. I'm hoping to get a chance to do this again.
Yeah, but if I know you, you'll still be bringing fantastic weather forecasts and having fun with people on the island, as you did with us for so many years, Jay. Thank you for setting this up. We'll be back to you as this continues. Woodstock, PEI, enjoy it. Enjoy your moment. There is the scene from Jay's camera. Now, as totality approaches on the island, crowds filling in behind me, Niagara Falls, getting very, very excited. 3:18 Eastern is the time that I am expecting to experience totality. Jay was talking about the colors changing. We were talking about that earlier today. The green becoming bolder, the red maybe recessing. Niagara Falls behind me, we're expecting it may look a little pink, but we're not sure. I'm not sure. We'll find out in due course when totality arrives. I want to take you to Austin, Texas next. Already experienced totality. Nelson Kwan is with me now. If you are into things celestial, you probably know the award-winning documentary Chasing Shadows. Nelson is the producer and the director of that. He's in Austin, Texas. Nelson, I'm so delighted to meet you. You've already had your totality. Tell me all about it.
Well, I'm here in Austin, right in the middle of the city. We're kind of like at the edge of the eclipse path, so we would have had about 2 minutes of totality, which happened about maybe 20 minutes ago. I'm at this school. My nephew, his school is underneath the eclipse path, so I kind of planned this trip to come here like maybe 8 years ago to kind of experience the eclipse with him. So, yeah, I mean, as you can see behind me, it's cloudy conditions, something that has been plaguing a lot of eclipse chasers this time around. So we were able to see the corona. In fact, I can show you a little bit because I was recording it on my telescope camera. I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, we had a little bit of totality. We could see the corona and everything. We even saw some.
Are you a documentary film producer by any chance? You're giving me an interview while showing me your own footage. This is fantastic. Okay, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead. I was
much.
mesmerized. Yeah, go ahead. Show me more.
Yeah. So
show me your footage.
We only had. Well, I just want to at least get you guys to see, even though we had clouds like this, the 2 minutes did give us some little bit of corona, so we were able to see that. And of course, naked eye was even better. So I think in about 10 minutes, you guys are gonna witness your totality. So that's gonna be pretty exciting. I really hope you guys got the clear skies. I think you guys have much better weather than what we have here. So really hoping that you guys all get to see
Nelson.
it over there.
You know, we've had a lot of cloud today. Every time there's a break in the crowd behind me goes wild, and you hear the cheers maybe in our conversation. I know you've seen total eclipses before. 2016, tell me about the eclipse and your experience then, because what happened for you in Austin, Texas, I'm going to bet, Nelson, does not top what happened to you personally in 2016.
Yeah, so 2016, we were in Sulawesi in Indonesia, and over there the clouds were a toss-up as well, exactly like this the day before the eclipse. Morning of the eclipse, clear skies, could see not a cloud in sight. Very lucky. And for me, my heart was raging a little bit more because it was like a high risk kind of a situation. I was planning to propose to my then girlfriend, now wife at the time. So I proposed to her. I told her I'd give her 3 diamond rings. We successfully and beautifully saw 2 diamond rings in the sky, and then I got down on my knees right after and gave her the 3rd diamond ring. So she said yes. Yeah. So it was probably one of the most memorable eclipses ever.
Story.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful story. She said, yet what an auspicious beginning. You have twin boys now, and as you say, you're sort of introducing them to the family business. What's the Generations project you're working on now, Nelson?
So the Generations project, every 18 years, the solar eclipse path on the Earth will kind of repeat itself. So for example, this eclipse, 2024, had the same eclipse path 18 years ago. And it went over Turkey and I think Middle Asia and that whole area. So a lot of, for us eclipse chasers, it's kind of like a eclipse birthday, I guess you can call it, because if you hit that 18 years, so for me, my first eclipse was 2008. My 2026 eclipse will be my 18-year cycle. It's called the sorrow cycle eclipse. So it's a very important number for us eclipse chasers. So my twins were born last year, and what I'm trying to do with this art project is, a lot of eclipse chasers, they'll take photos of the sun, get those close-ups, or they'll get some nice landscapes. I've decided to kind of do something a little different and kind of showcase me. So kind of show you a little of my setup here. I've got like my strobe and my camera, this one here. It's basically to capture us and the eclipse, So it's kind of like a selfie, almost like a self-portrait. So the Generations project, I wanted to kind of showcase my kids as they grew up along the ways with the eclipse. So starting this year, then the next one in 2026, and so on and so forth, all the way until they're 18 years old. So hopefully they can get that one sorrow cycle. So yeah, and then I can kind of have that exhibit 20 years from now.
I hope I'm around to hear all about it from you at that time. Can I ask you a question, one more question? Now, this might be a little bit obscure because it's not about your family. I've been to Austin, Texas. I love Austin, Texas. You know, one of the things that people go to Austin, Texas for is the colony of urban bats that live under the bridge. They live under the Congress Bridge. I don't know if you've seen them in your time there, but every dusk, these millions of bats fly out. And I was thinking, if it's a total solar eclipse and day becomes night, have you heard anything yet about how the bat behavior was? If they suddenly flew out early or thought it was time to go for their hunt? That would be a really interesting story there.
That definitely would be an interesting story. I'm not surprised if they did come out. I'm unfortunately not in an area to have witnessed that. But I can tell you that about 5 minutes before totality here, even with the clouds, that animals were starting to act a little funny. We saw some birds kind of circling, kind of interestingly in the sky. We heard the crickets chirping, even night lights were turning on, things like that. So there's a lot of interesting animal activity. In 2013's eclipse, when I went to Ethiopia, we 5 o'clock, midday, the sun's supposed to be up. As the eclipse rolled through, the cattle were going home, and I saw, which I thought was quite interesting. So I wouldn't be surprised if the bats were like, oh, hey, it's nighttime, let's go out.
Let's go for our insect hunt. Nelson, what a pleasure to meet you. Thank you. Looking forward to following your next projects, and this Generations project would sound so fascinating. Enjoy your rest of the time in Austin, Texas. Nelson Kwan, my guest.
Good luck on your guys' totality.
Oh, you have one more thing to tell me? Okay, thank you. It's
Oh
coming.
no, I was
it's
saying,
coming.
totality is
Sherbrooke,
coming. So
Quebec.
yeah, good luck on it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's also coming to Sherbrooke, Quebec. Let me show you live pictures there. Partial eclipse underway, so everybody in Quebec watching right now, make sure you're wearing those solar eclipse glasses. Make sure you have the solar filters over your camera lenses. This is what we need to be doing right now because you're not at totality yet. And as we look at these pictures, you're going to hear the voice of Ryan Marciniak, who's been with me all morning and all afternoon, and we've been enjoying his expertise so much from Astronomy in Action. One of the things in Nelson Kwan's documentary, Chasing Shadows, there's a line that says, once you experience a total solar eclipse, it changes you. You've seen one. Did it change you?
It did. I mean, being an astronomer, you have a more intimate understanding of what's happening in the cosmos around us. But to be there and to understand that these three celestial bodies are lining up perfectly, and you are along that line, you are part of that experience. You feel connected to the entire universe at that moment.
So that's what we're going to feel here. Now,
Yeah.
I should tell you that Ryan and I right now, we're under a tent. So we're protected in terms of whatever bursts through. Every once in a while we hear, I'm just looking this way because the sun is this way over my shoulder. I can't believe the crowd now.
It's fantastic.
For a while they were saying 1 million people in Niagara Falls. I don't know if we're going to hit that because it's not the best weather, but they certainly are expecting 100,000, but hundreds of thousands potentially. Yeah. And if you've missed the last reference point, the biggest one-time crowd they had here was when Nick Wallenda walked on that tightrope from the American Falls over here across to Horseshoe Falls. 150,000 people were there to witness that. Can you imagine that? Pretty incredible. But we do expect there are many, many more people watching in one of the natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls, what is sure to be another natural wonder of the world. We've been watching all morning quite a lot of seagulls. What are they likely to do as totality approaches?
Their nighttime routine, maybe landing, nesting a little bit, kind of settling down, but maybe a little surprised that they're doing that so early, but it will get pretty quiet as far as birds go.
But interestingly, it won't be silent for us, I wouldn't imagine, because of the falls behind us.
Well, between the falls and the crowd, I'm sure it'll be quite loud.
They'll be cheering, I'm sure.
Definitely.
But we are in front of the second largest falls in the world behind Victoria Falls, but the most water, 168,000 cubic meters every minute. This is rushing over, so it's really it's a roar.
It's a beautiful place to be. Even if the weather is cloudy for the rest of the eclipse, we have this wonder of the world to look at.
It really is. So stand by for just a second. I want to bring in Katie Nicholson. I haven't seen personally, Katie, the partial eclipse. These are my live shots here that you're seeing up on the camera. This is what's going on Niagara Falls because I'm under my tent. I'm keeping my eyes very well sheltered, but you've been out there. I do have my glasses at the ready, though, of course. Now, what's been happening out there with the crowd as you've been talking to people as totality approaches?
Well, this is sort of the scene. You can see a fair number of people still staring up, looking, willing the clouds to sort of part again. You can sort of feel it here. We had those brief moments around 2:43 to 2:45. That's when we heard these whoops from the crowd. People were so excited because they could actually see it a bit with the naked eye, and people were putting their glasses on and off and on and off because it was really hard to make out at first. All of our friends along here with their telescopes started hustling really quickly, trying to basically record the images they were getting. I talked to a couple who had come in from North Carolina, and they woke up this morning, they saw how cloudy it was, they were just like, oh, what a bummer. And then they had that moment, and they were showing me the pictures that they got, which were just pretty incredible, just as the moon and the sun just started to encroach upon one another there. So what's happening here is people are just really wanting another moment of that as we get close to totality. But obviously, one of the reasons that people wanted to come here was to have that experience of darkness in the middle of the day, essentially. And so, and to really, I guess, be blown away by this sort of celestial show. Can't do that when it's this cloudy. So really, this is everyone's just kind of hanging out here, waiting for a slightly better view, waiting for the skies to clear just a little bit. And I don't know, I didn't think we were going to get what we just got a little while ago. So Heather, I'm like kind of holding hope, and I'm holding onto my glasses just in case we have that break.
I hope so. It's really fun to hear the crowd as they see the sun, and they are so excited. We're looking live at pictures of Woodstock PEI on one side of your screen and Sherbrooke, Quebec. It really does. And Ryan Marciniak has time for one more question for now. He's coming back, but he's going to be part of totality coverage on CBC Radio if you're listening as well. So we're under a tent. It's hard to gauge, but it looks to me like the sky is darkening. Is that right?
Yeah, it's starting. We're starting to see that kind of hitting the dimmer switch on the sun. Right, it's just a little bit right now, but over the next 10 minutes, we're going to notice a lot of darkness. And then when we approach totality, we'll start to see that shadow coming across, the darkness looming across us.
I can feel the breeze.
It's getting cooler.
I think it is getting cooler. It was 14 degrees. We took the temperature at 1 o'clock. We took the temperature. It was 14.
Wow.
We are noting because it'll drop about 10 degrees, won't it? 10 degrees?
Yes, and the wind might actually stop and shift direction as well.
And then again, as we talk, the seagulls, they're really the only bird life or animal life. There's some pets in the crowd, but maybe here's the dogs react. I don't know.
Certainly.
But the birds, we'll see if they get silent. This is all what is in store for us here in Niagara Falls. And again, Ryan, thank you. Come on back after your radio duties. We'll continue our conversation. I just want to make sure that you just take stock for just one moment. 1979, the last time there was a total solar eclipse in Canada. There won't be another until 2044, and that's in the Western provinces and up in the 3 Northern Territories. That's a big gap. We need to experience this together as we are and really savor the moments. What we're seeing, this rare spectacle play out live before us, and we're bringing you live pictures all along the path of totality. So Jay Scotland's camera in Woodstock, we're looking at Alison Northcott's camera at Montmagny, the observatory there. You can see the partial eclipses in Sherbrooke. I'm really hoping that the cloud breaks and I can bring you my own live camera, but so far, not. Andrew, we've been saying a lot of Doris Day. Que sera, sera. We're just going with it here in Niagara. Whatever happens. So what's going on in Toronto where you are?
Well, Heather, this serves me right because I was bragging about the sun coming out. It is gone. It is cloudy skies here in Toronto where we're under partial eclipse. But we are, as you've been mentioning, just minutes away. And Pauline is here, Barnby is here with me, just minutes away from totality for many people in southwestern Ontario, and then it'll quickly kind of clip through southern Ontario into Quebec, into the Maritimes, and then finally Newfoundland over about a half an hour period. So for those in the bright sunshine, what are they going to experience?
Well, they'll see the moon totally covering the sun. They may get to see the diamond ring effect, where you see a little bright spot on the edge of the moon, or at the edge of the moon and the sun. They might get to see Bailey's beads, which is where the sunlight filters through the craters on the edge of the moon, which is super cool.
Yeah.
They'll see birds landing or doing their sleepy time things. They'll feel it getting cooler, and maybe the winds will change shape, change direction.
It feels a little, I don't know, it feels a little bit cooler here, and it does seem darker. Do you think are we experiencing that?
I think we're starting to get a bit of the edge of that, yeah. And, for those of us under the clouds, we're still going to see it get dark. We're just not going to get to see all of the awesome stuff next to the sun.
Okay, so now that we are very close to experiencing that, or many Canadians are, those in Niagara and Southern Ontario and other parts, remind us about the safety tips in terms of the glasses and what we need to be doing.
Gotcha. So folks who are under clear skies, you want to keep your glasses on until you see the sun go away. Basically, that's how you'll know totality is started, and you can take the glasses off. And then you got to put them back on 2 to 3 minutes later, depending on where exactly you are. People where it's not a total eclipse need to keep the glasses on. If you've got as many clouds as we have here, you probably can't see the sun anyway. Yeah. But keep the glasses handy. You might need them.
And remind us about why this happens. This is all about the size of the moon versus the size and the distance of the sun, right?
Right.
In terms of how this happens.
Right. So the moon is coming between the sun and the earth, and it just happens that the moon is the right size to block out the sun. Except sometimes when the moon is a little further away and it's not quite big enough to block out the sun, we call that an annular eclipse. So if you've heard that word, that's what that means.
Right, Pauline, thank you. Okay, so here we are, Heather. I know, and I was just going to ask you finally, in terms of the 99.9%, yeah, it just won't be the same.
Right.
But Heather, I know we're so close. Back to you in Niagara Falls.
We are. I can see your sky darkening, Andrew, and thank you so much. Can you see mine? It's quite extraordinary. I want you to watch this, but there we are. Look at this. You can see my breath. The temperature has dropped considerably and quickly. And Katie Nicholson, who's just, let me see, can I see Katie somewhere in the crowd just behind me? Are you noticing the same thing, Katie, in terms of darkness, light, sounds,
yes.
cold? What are you seeing?
We've noticed, yeah, big shift in light, but also just temperature, the wind, and the thing that I'm really noticing, I kind of feel a bit like Tippi Hedren and the birds. The seagulls here have just really kicked up. They're flying around. We sort of hear them. I don't know. Dad, if you want to just like grab a couple of them, they've been sort of like flocking around us off to the side a bit more too, flying low, just sort of going around in circles. They certainly seem a little bit more disturbed, and we, of course, have heard multiple times, sometimes animals start nocturnal behaviors. They get a little bit confused by the sudden rapid onset of darkness. But you can feel it. It's a tangible, experiential thing. You feel the cold, you feel the dark, and there certainly is a sense that something is shifting. So as we get closer and closer to totality, it has absolutely become crisper, colder, a little windier, and just the birds here clearly a little bit more on edge than they were earlier today.
Katie, thank you so much.
We saw a couple planes. Yeah.
Oh, I was asking our team because I'm looking up. There's just above us. Can you see this, Katie? There's a tiny sliver of blue sky, and everyone is hoping that expands. Obviously, the sun is covered in cloud where we are. But again, there's optimism, and I think I keep seeing planes flying. Now, by the way, can you get that shot?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. You can see the blue sky there. Merdad is just getting it. Yeah. And that is it, Heather, that is in the area where we were told is a prime viewing spot for this eclipse. So if that shifts over, we might be in luck here.
Listen, I am an eternal optimist, Katie Nicholson, and so we're not done yet. We have 6 minutes until totality where we are here in Niagara Falls, but it's seconds away in Kingsville, the very first place in Canada to experience a total solar eclipse since 1979. The southernmost point of Canada is Pelee Island. Chris Ensign, you keep those glasses on. Last moments of partial eclipse for you. Chris, tell me about it. Tell me all about it.
We're watching this move centimeters away from taking over the sun. It's incredible, just the version of what's occurring here for us with the sky darkening, the cold. We can see our breath, the water in front of us flat. I've got people behind me all over. Just as this is about to go, I got some friends beside me right here. As you watch the sliver of the sun start to disappear, Ali, what are you thinking about, bud?
I would say this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's honestly just beautiful.
Wow, look at it. We've got that last little sliver inside of there. What do you guys think? What do you make of this? It's neat to see, eh?
It's pretty nice.
Ali, we got the applause from people.
There's so many people here. I don't even know what to say. Last sliver. Totality has just started. This is absolutely crazy.
There it is, Heather. You can hear everybody around us. That's just a gorgeous moment. I don't know what you're able to see, but the water is calm. I'm going to take the glass off just to look. Mike, if you can point the camera to the right there, you can see the sun sort of, the way the glow has been created over there. One of those beautiful sunsets that we would see here. Heather, it's incredible. Ali, before we throw it back here, what do you want to make of this? What do you want the people of Canada to know?
No. Chris, just stay with me.
Life is beautiful.
Beautiful. Yes, Heather, we've got you. It's something that
I want you to just tell me. Look around. Tell me what's happening. How are people reacting? I want to experience it with you, Chris. Just give me the whole picture.
We've got kids running around. We've got two sides of a sunset here. The beautiful northern shore of Lake Erie, just calm as glass behind us. Everybody with their phones. Ali, how would you describe this, pal?
It's, like I said, beautiful. And there's as a sun.
And Ali, as you're talking, we're just going to pan around here a bit.
Alright.
It's just the sun, the little edges over there. Yeah. We can see there behind some people out on the water as well.
Yeah, it's like a
People taking this in.
all over.
And we're going to lose it again. It's going to start to disappear. I'm going to take one quick look back up here. I can't make out the sun. I can't make out the moon. It's darkness.
If I were to zoom in,
Well,
you could kind of
put your glasses on there, buddy.
If I were to zoom in,
No,
I
he's
would
okay. I
see-
think he's okay if we're still in totality.
Oh, he is okay. Ali, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, buddy. You are okay. Take a look at that ring. Oh my gosh, Heather. Like a goofball, I have my glasses on. This is incredible. That diamond ring we just heard your guest talk about putting 3 for his fiance. That's gorgeous. It's starting to come back. I'm going to throw him back down.
So-
Heather, this is incredible.
Okay, as long as it's coming back, put those back on. That is exactly the right thing. Just
Can we put your
again to
glasses
remind
back on
everybody,
now?
Chris.
Because we're going to... Hey, kids,
That's
we're just going to
right.
put our glasses
In
back on just as we
all
watch
of the
it here.
moments of partial solar eclipse, we want to make sure that people have the safety glasses on.
Put your
In
glasses
all
back
of
on
the
there,
phases
Ali.
of
You need your
partial
glasses
eclipse,
on, pal.
it's just in those
got 'em back on,
very
you
short
got 'em
minutes
back
of
on.
I can see the
totality
small,
where it is
like,
safe.
tiny slip.
I hear that roar, Heather. You got it now. Mike, we're going to take one more switch around here just to take the look now. You can start to see the sun come back, the light come back. The normality after totality. What a moment.
Literally once in a lifetime. Absolutely amazing.
It's just incredible, Heather. That's the view from back here in the southernmost point of mainland Canada. Thanks for having us. Thanks for letting us be a part of this, Heather.
Oh, what a privilege, Chris, to experience this with you. The very first people in Canada to do so. Thanks to all the young people there. What an experience for them. I am going to bring it live to Niagara Falls because I am about a minute away from totality. Now, the cloud hasn't broken, but there is a glimpse of sun through, and you'll hear very much the cheer. They are really hoping against hope to have this experience. I don't know if you can see the crowd over my shoulder, but there are thousands of people. Hello. What's happening? Is it looking good? Fingers crossed. Everybody has their glasses on. They are waiting for these last phases before totality. The cameras are up with those solar filters on to take pictures. But if you are going to be in the path of totality, you absolutely, I think, might want to follow the advice of a guest earlier today, which is watch your first one and photograph your second. And the point of watching it is it's so rare, it is so awesome. You don't want to miss one single moment of the experience. So take a look at this. It's gotten colder. See how dark it is behind me. It is incredible. It is a quick falling of darkness. It is daytime to nighttime. The birds are still flying, but it is quiet with the exception of the crowds behind me. Let's listen in as they try to experience totality in Niagara Falls. Here it is.
Nice.
I just want you to experience this with everybody here. Look at how dark it is. Everybody with the cameras up, because this is the time when you can take pictures, when you can take video, when you can experience this together safely. Now, I will have to say that I'm just going to move here. It is through the cloud, but there is a hint. There is a hint. There it is coming through. You'll hear the crowd cheer. They were prepared for anything but are going to be thrilled to have even a taste of this rarest of experience. And it's really interesting. Maybe not the full experience, Katie Nicholson, this feeling, because when you look at the corona, as we've seen in some other locations, I mean, it's been extraordinary. This sense of belonging to something bigger, but also this sense of connection to all of the people who are here, to the universe, something bigger than us individually. It has been, for many people, a time of profound emotional, range. Transformative for some people. Must be peeking through. We have it. There is the corona. Just behold that for a moment. Those are the streamers. You're seeing the corona. At any other point, the brightness of the sun hides that from us, but we're getting some of it right now. Let's just experience this together. It keeps peeking out. It doesn't want to disappoint the thousands of people in Niagara Falls, and they are thrilled. Can I bring in Katie Nicholson for just a minute? Katie, are you having a chance with the people around you to experience? What are you seeing?
I mean, I'm often not lost for words, and I'm a little lost for words. It's just a heavy, profound feeling. What's your name, sir?
Hi, Des. How you doing?
Good. You just said something to me as I walked by.
Oh no, I just said it's absolutely amazing what we just saw and witnessed. How all of a sudden it just became black and very, very shady. But it's been an unbelievable experience, and we just got the full eclipse there for a couple of seconds, which was fantastic. So the crowd are shouting it one more time. So there it is, guys. It's just showing its face. Thank you.
Thank you. Heather, the sun is starting to make its presence seen here again. Everyone is again just eyes up. I think remembering to put their glasses back on. But just
make sure you do too,
moment.
Katie.
I'm putting it on now, I promise.
Okay, thank you. Like you, we make our living in a business where we talk, but it's just time here to stand and watch. Stand and wonder.
I mean,
it's extraordinary.
What could we
my
possibly
goodness.
say that would be, yeah. More, that
well,
was
you
just
would
an
say that
incredible
it
moment.
is.
I don't. Who needs words when you can experience that?
And on our screen we have live pictures from our team here in Niagara Falls, and so hopefully wherever you are in the country, you too are experiencing this with us. You can see that totality is coming to an end, and we're starting to see the moon move away from expose more of the sun's surface. So totality finished here in Niagara Falls, but of course this is moving on. It's moving on. It's moving to Gananoque. It's moving to Brockville. It's going to move to Kingston. It's going to do Hamilton and Burlington, eventually to Montreal in the south and on, and we're going to be with you for all of these moments. This is just, okay, glasses on, everybody, as we look at all of this. Just before we go to Hamilton, I just want to bring in, if I can for a moment, Nicole Martellaro, who I think is already mic'd and ready to join me. Nicole, as you already joined us earlier, 2017, you've already experienced one. How about this one? How about this one for you? How was this? Are those tears I see? Now, why is it's visceral, isn't it? Oh no, that's okay. No, are you not wearing a microphone? Okay, hold on. Oh, stand in. How about I'm sorry, it's on right here. Just hold that. Just hold it. Tell me a little. Why the emotion?
It's just so beautiful. I'm sorry.
Even through the cloud. And look at the light returning.
I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, to see the sun's corona, which I had only seen a glimpse of in 2017, I am absolutely, I mean, it's beautiful, and I understand why people chase eclipses. It was beautiful. And did you see the birds starting to act weird? And
It got so quiet. The temperature dropped so quickly.
I mean, I'm sorry, I just get so emotional.
You're making me tear up. This is amazing. But now that we start to see everything return to normal again so quickly, you can appreciate why people become almost deflated, almost dejected. There's been such a pent-up moment, such emotion, and then they say, once is not enough. I've got to get to my next one.
Exactly. I'm starting to think 2026 Spain, 2027 Africa. So, I mean, yeah, you absolutely can. I mean, it's, for me, I mean, I love astronomy. I love space. And to see our solar system, like I said, in motion, it is just an amazing thing to me.
I'm trying to figure out why I'm emotional listening to you talking about it. And I think it's because it is this, we're part of something so much more than this spot.
Yeah, it's bigger than us, it really, David Makepeace, he had said something like, and Jay Anderson has said the same thing, that it shows you how small we are in the grand scheme of things, and we're allowed to marvel at it and be taken, like, it's just, people use awe-inspiring. It really is.
It really is. I stand in wonder. You just want to behold and experience. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. My goodness gracious, we're going to need a tissue. We're less than 2 minutes now from the people in Quebec going through exactly, I hope, what Nicole and I just did. So as we gather ourselves, let me bring in Allison Northcott. I want to give you lots of time to lead up, Allison, to your moment of totality there in Montmégotsig at the famous observatory. Still blue sky, so this is going to get very dark very quickly and maybe very quiet. So you go right ahead and tell us all about what's going on there.
Yeah, things are about to change very quickly. As you said, the last seconds that I was looking at it, it's still just a sliver of light that you can see. And now it is becoming quite quiet because the moment is beginning. And people, there is this sense of excitement that people have been building up to this all day, and it's just this great moment that's about to unfold here above us. I can feel the air cooling. I can feel the light changing. We can see that the darkness is starting to come now, and we're very close at this moment. I'm going to have another look to see. Just the smallest sliver still. So you can feel that energy. People have been, everyone's staring up right now. There is a really excited energy because they know that the sun is there. They don't have to worry about the clouds. There's not a cloud in the sky. You can feel the light. You can see around me it changing as we speak. People here, you can feel the emotion already, the anticipation as it's starting to get darker and darker, as you can see, and just a tremendous
if I can just interrupt you, Allison,
wonder
for
on
just a
people's
second,
faces.
because I don't mean to cut you off because I'm going to go back to let you experience it, but what we saw with our live camera was the diamond ring effect, which everyone looks for. That's those last flashes of brilliant sunlight coming through all the valleys and the crags in the moon's surface. And I think behind you, you must be into totality.
Wow.
Tell me about how people are reacting.
Yeah. I think you can hear it for yourself. I'm just going to take a minute to let you just have a listen. So we are in totality now, and people, gasping almost, covering their mouths, just looking up with a real feeling of awe and pleasure.
Allison, are you in a position to go and talk to anybody nearby to see what the reaction is from the family?
I'm going to just find someone here who I was going to speak with before he's down here.
Perfect.
How are you doing? We spoke earlier, and I just want to hear from you.
I feel really grateful for seeing this because it's really rare, and I feel special because we've been driving for 6 hours to get here, and it's really spectacular.
Describe for me what you're looking at right now.
We're looking at a ring of light. That's been there's a light of the sun that's being hidden by the moon. So
And it changed so quickly, the light.
yeah, it is incredible.
Why did you want to be able to see this?
I think it's part of the science that I love exploring, and understanding the cycle of the moon. I believe it is interesting. So this is something really special about the moon cycle, where we get no light at the point where we're at.
I'll let you get back to enjoying it. Thank you so much. So you can hear, again, like that feeling of witnessing something so unusual, so incredible right here at Mont Mégantic with this beautiful clear sky and this incredible eclipse that I'm looking up at right now. And it's more than 3 minutes long here. So we're in the center of the path of totality. So this is one of the places in Canada that has the longest totality. So people have come here from all over North America to be able to experience this. Bonjour, Madame Roy. Est-ce que je peux juste une vite question? Comment est-ce que vous sentez? Qu'est-ce que vous voyez?
C'est impressionnant, surtout avec mon petit-fils. J'en ai déjà vu.
Madame Roy, I'm speaking to her here. We've been speaking a little bit, and she's here with her grandson and her son, and she saw an earlier eclipse.
Yeah,
and
63.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me what you're seeing.
I don't remember. No.
Right now.
It's new. It's right, like new for me. Huh? I don't remember. I was 15.
What are you feeling right now?
Very good, eh?
Yeah, magnificent. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's very cool. I love it.
Merci beaucoup.
And you get Venus.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can also see Venus there as well. Yeah. It's just an incredible sky. The colors.
She comes to see the eclipse too, right? Yeah. It's the brightest. Oh, tabarouette.
We have to put our glasses back on now. And you can see the people again applauding. Just have a look.
The glasses go back on, Allison. Everyone applauding and cheering because they know that it has been the end of totality. Our timing on our live shot is just a little bit out of sync from yours. We were kind of watching the live pictures from Sherbrooke, a little bit away from where you are in Mont Mégantic, but we saw incredible prominences in Sherbrooke. We saw the diamond ring at the end. I don't think I saw Venus on my screen, but how wonderful. That was one of the things that we were anticipating, that if totality was extraordinary, we might see some of the planets. Allison, thank you so much for sharing that. I want to take you to New Brunswick, Florenceville, Bristol, and Brett Ruskin. Your turn. What's happening?
Heather, this is just like, we were talking about, it's going to be dramatic, and it's going to, the speed at which the temperature dropped, the light dropped. I can see Jupiter, I can see Venus. There's two very clear, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but this is what we're looking at here. It happens so quickly, and so you can see a circle of kind of, it's more compelling and emotional than I had anticipated, because it's just like it's in the middle of the day and suddenly it just got dark. So there's folks all around here. I'll give you a quick little tour of people looking up here in one of the best spots in terms of conditions for the viewing of this, because it was perfectly clear blue skies all day long. So we got that full sun to full eclipse moment. And so let's go talk to some folks here. What does it look like?
Look like it's just an eclipse.
Looks like the third cross on the moon.
Yeah. I mean, there's folks here who have come from all over the place, and it's neat to be working, but also just experiencing this, Heather. I know that everyone else farther west has already experienced it, but it's when the same experience, same phenomenon, but to see it yourself is very impressive.
Okay, you just take a pause. You don't have to talk to me. I want you to be able to say that you experienced it too. So just look at it. Do you have your camera? Can you take a selfie? This is safe to do, by the way, during totality. I don't know if you have one with you. Maybe not. I want you to have that for the record. But
absolutely, I can take a selfie while I broadcast.
okay, get that set. I just remind people that where you are in New Brunswick has not seen this phenomenon since 932. It has been more than 1,000 years. And there you are, Brett Ruskin, bringing the moment to us. And Brett,
so we're
oh my
back.
goodness.
We're coming back.
That's fantastic. That is excellent.
So,
okay. It's so great, Brett. Does that mean I'm seeing a lot more light? Is it safe for you? Do you need to have your glasses back on?
So I got my glasses right here. I'm not looking up that way just now, but I'm going to put my glasses on. But I can look down.
I'm going to leave you for a second. Stay put.
Okay.
I want to go to PEI next because I want them to experience it too. Sheehan Desjardins is in Woodstock, Prince Edward Island. It is totality there. Sheehan, what is happening?
It is totality here. It is dark. I don't know if you can still hear the crowd cheering. They all just let out a really big cheer all together, but it seems to be quieting down right now. Now, it is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's no wonder so many people came out to experience this event here in Woodstock. This is what people have been waiting for. This is what some people traveled literally thousands of kilometers to come and see here. Now, just before this, I had a chance to walk through the crowd and get people's thoughts. They said that this is the best day of their life. They said that this is life-changing, that it's magical. Some people have had this on their calendar for 2 years. Now, it was pretty much a perfect day here in PEI for the total solar eclipse. There was barely any clouds in the sky. I don't remember the last time it was this sunny and this warm in April. Some people are wearing shorts. Now, the temperature certainly has dropped. It's eerie how quiet it is all of a sudden. I think everyone is just really trying to take this whole experience in. I'm looking forward to it as well. It's pretty exciting here. Now, this is something that we're not going to see again in Prince Edward Island until for at least 50 years. So like I said, everyone is really trying to take this whole experience in. But I did have a chance to speak with some kids out in the crowd, and they said that they're already looking forward to it. So we'll have to see what happens 50 years from now. But the crowd is excited. I think people are really pleased with what they saw today in Prince Edward Island, Heather.
This is an extraordinary live picture beside you, Sheehan. Thank you so very much. Sheehan Desjardins, Woodstock, PEI, 2017, July 10th of that year. That's the next time that community will see what we are looking at right now. Now, is this Prince Edward Island that we're looking at? Let me just check with my team. Totality, as Jay Scotland was telling us and Brett, this part of the country really had the best viewing conditions. And look at this. And Alfie Chan, come and look at this with me on these live pictures. Alfie, you met earlier this morning. Alfie's been my guest for years on CBC Morning Live. He's 15, but he loves space, and he has since he was a little boy. Now that is a total solar eclipse. What are you seeing in that picture?
It's definitely totality for sure. You can see kind of like the hole covering the sun. You can see the sun's corona flare outside of the moon. Oh, and there we go. That's the diamond ring effect right there.
So is that it's moving off then?
Yeah, that's moving off.
It's moving off. So let's wait and see what we see, because we have seen diamond rings which are unbelievable. That last blast, or in this case, it'll be the first blast of light as it moons moving away from the sun. So you get, now we're seeing, now I haven't seen this. Now this could just be our monitor or our cameras, but I haven't seen those different colors. That could just be what we're looking at on the screen. Alfie, you were here in Niagara Falls with me, you and your family, your sister Ava and your parents. Wasn't as beautiful viewing conditions, but it did peek through. Tell me all about your experience.
So most definitely it started, the first notable change was that it was pretty cloudy, so we couldn't see much. we started to look up and we hear people cheering. That's when we're like, oh, so that's when the eclipse is starting. We look up and we see through the little bit of cloud we're looking at, and we kind of see a little bit of like a black circle slowly starting to creep across the sun. And then that's when we start to notice, oh, it's getting dimmer and dimmer. And then it starts getting colder. The animals, like the seagulls out here at Niagara Falls, they started like flying all the way. Yeah, they're all flying at that direction, yeah.
They were going away,
Yeah.
were they?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So a little bit unusual
Yeah, a little
behavior. Were they quiet?
No, they were like cawing and chirping the whole time while they were flying. And they all flew in one big group and down that direction over there.
So you wanted to observe the changes, but I also wanted to find out how it made you feel. Tell me about the emotional experience.
So I did not expect it to be that quick to go from the sun brightness all the way down to dark. It went from dawn to dusk in under 5 seconds, and then in the next like 10-ish or so seconds, we went from sunset all the way to dark and at night. And then it was almost pitch black. It was a very dark blue. And it was really cool seeing all like the lights on the hotels, all the lights everywhere starting to light up. The city began to light up because of how dark it was.
Did you feel some kind of
and it felt
connection
to felt like, oh wow, it's definitely worth it. I was also a bit nervous because I was like, oh, it's getting so dark. And I was just
a little bit nervous.
A little bit nervous. And
Wonderful to share in that with your family and all of the people who were here. Thank you for sharing with all of us through these past days, Alfie, you and your family. It's been such a pleasure. It's been just great. I have to leave you now because I want to go to Newfoundland. I don't want to miss totality in Gander. Adam Walsh, you're in the very last place in Canada to experience this. What is happening in Gander, my friend?
Oh my God, it is wild, right? Like Heather, obviously it's getting dark in the daytime here. I'm surrounded by a couple hundred people at the College of the North Atlantic in Gander. We've got the Trans-Canada Highway in front of us. We've seen a crowd slowly build over the last hour and a half. Like free glasses have been given out behind me here. You've got some astrophysicists, students from Memorial University of Newfoundland and Labrador. There's some telescopes there. Everyone's been waiting for this moment right now. And they're up until now, it was getting pretty loud. You got someone on a loudspeaker behind me. Now everyone's clapping because here we are in totality in Gander, Newfoundland and Labrador. And it is quite the thing with everyone's got their phones up and some cheering, and they're just in awe of what is happening right now.
You know, Adam, it hasn't just been the moment in Gander, and we're just looking at what's going on the screen in Gander. We're just seeing a crescent, so it's coming. I know there was a 4-day eclipse. Oh, sorry, we're looking at PEI. I apologize, Adam. This is PEI, so we're watching that scene as well. This is our camera in Woodstock. Such an incredible moment that is coming your way, the last stop before the eclipse moves out to the ocean. But we were hearing about a 4-day eclipse soiree, so you've really been celebrating there in Gander for a long time. Can you make sure that you share with me and everyone watching what is happening in the little fishing community of Burgeo, Adam, because there's a very special eclipse ceremony going on there.
Yeah, well, here's the moment right here at Gander, Heather. And if we're talking about Burgeo, I got to go back to 66. It's in 1766 when explorer James Cook was there for a partial eclipse during that summer. He was able to actually, with that spot, he named an island Eclipse Island, and he was able to get the longitude of that then. And you fast forward to the 20th century, they put a little beacon on that island. No one lives there. This were the 50s and 60s, went into disrepair. This week, they repaired that beacon, put a new one in. It is solar powered. And on the government wharf in Burgeo, a town of about 1,500 people, they're having, as we say in Newfoundland, quite the time there today. I know there's music, there's singing, there's a smudging ceremony, all of that in celebration, thinking of what was going on. And here we are in Gander, and the light that was in front of me earlier, that it wasn't that bright, well, it's bright now because it is dark.
Okay, I am entranced by the story of Eclipse Island and Cook and the people of Burgeo, how they're getting that beacon. But just come back to Gander, because I heard the cheers in the background. I can spend a little bit more time with you, Adam, if you don't mind. I do want you to be able to the experiences too. But what's going on? What's been the reaction there for totality for you there in Gander?
I've just been hearing some cheers, and as I look around me with my eyes adjusting from the TV light and then the darkness that's everywhere, I'm looking around and everyone's just kind of taking in the moment. They're talking to each other, they're just looking up, and they're just soaking in this special moment in Gander, Newfoundland and Labrador. Like I said, a couple hundred people at College of the North Atlantic campus, some cheers, and just, I don't know, just quite the mood, quite the scene. And here as well, not just in Burgeo, here in Gander, it's quite the time too, Heather.
They're missing out in St. John's, I think, aren't they today, Adam? They'll be wishing that they were with you there in Gander.
Yeah, I left my wife some special sunglasses, but I don't think she's seeing much now, so she'll have to watch me on TV and see how it is.
That's true. Listen, so great to have you on the program, Adam. You go back and watch it and experience it yourself. Thank you, Adam Walsh, our final CBC reporter.
Thanks, Heather.
What a great team assembled for you today, as we have been with you from the moment the eclipse arrived in Canada on that southernmost tip in Windsor, Essex, in Essex County. And of course, we had Chris Ensing in Kingsville, and then all through Ontario, into Quebec, into Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and then there, the finishing point, Newfoundland. 34 minutes, Ryan. That's all it took. How fast does that path go?
At 2,400 kilometers an hour.
Incredible. 34 minutes, so much anticipation.
Don't blink or you'll miss it.
I know. Listen, Ryan Marciniak is back. I have loved spending time with you here. And of course, last week in studio in Toronto. You were just on CBC Radio for Totality, so I missed your reaction. What did you go through?
I'm still in awe. I think awe is the best word. And not just for myself. Being here to share it with so many other people was really wonderful. As somebody who communicates science for a living, seeing the reactions, hearing the reactions of everyone else as it got colder, as it got darker, as it poked out from behind the clouds for those magical few seconds. That's what it was all about for me.
It was so exciting to hear the crowd because they were so hopeful of at least something. And they did see the corona, and they did see Totality on a couple of occasions, fleeting occasions, but they were not scuppered.
That's all you need to have it change your life, is that one moment. And, you know, we talked about it as being a 3.5 minute moment, but those short seconds, most of the people here will remember for the rest of their lives.
This was your second?
This was.
2017 was, you were in Wyoming, if I'm not mistaken, and you experienced it in 2017, and now here you're on Niagara. Now you were working, so it's a little bit different, I guess, but how would you compare the two?
Well, it was nice to not have to operate a camera because I photographed the first eclipse and I was fumbling with solar lenses and all of this stuff, but I think the similarity of my experience in both eclipses was the childlike wonder. I felt like a little kid seeing the stars for the first time and experiencing this beautiful celestial moment. Back then, you know, in 2017, I had other people around me too, and there were cheers, certainly less than there are here. But just experiencing that with other people was really a magical
part
moment.
of it, isn't it?
It really
is.
is.
The communal experience. I was using a quote yesterday, or earlier in the broadcast today, from an American official and an American astronomer saying it can be a me eclipse. So you personally, or maybe the two of us, maybe family, or it can be a we with thousands of people. And there's a whole extra element to that communal experience that I think we must have shared in today.
It is. We are a planet. We are part of a planet lining up with a 3,500 kilometer wide moon and an over 1 million kilometer wide sun, 150 million kilometers away. Like, just the numbers are staggering, and this beautiful celestial alignment, this syzygy, it's for everyone.
You know, it's been extraordinary to experience today. It's hard to think that eventually, I mean, well beyond our lifetime, you just mentioned that perfect alignment, which has given rise to this incredible phenomenon. As things change, one day there won't be total solar eclipses. Isn't that right?
Yeah, every year the moon is moving away from the Earth by about 4 centimeters. And if you just hold up your 4 fingers, that's about how far it is every single year. Now, that doesn't really mean much for our short lives, but in cosmic time, that means that in millions of years, total solar eclipses won't happen. We'll get more of what are called annular eclipses, where you would see a ring of the sun with the moon in the center. And those do happen occasionally as the moon moves closer or farther. But at the end of the day, I think that we have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of new eclipse chasers who are also Canadians.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that, and I was saying earlier that more Canadians have experienced this than at any other point in history. About 6 million in the path of totality, and of course, virtually everyone in the country experiencing a partial solar eclipse as we talk. I wonder if there will be a whole new generation of eclipse chaser. You've been working all this weekend with young people. This has been a real moment for space and for astronomy and for discovery. What do you hope the impact is?
I hope that it encourages people to at least want to learn more. One of the beautiful things about science is that it will always be there for us to learn about when we're ready. And I hope that this triggered a lot of excitement, curiosity, interest in our world among young people who will grow up and be the leaders of tomorrow and protect our planet.
You were 7 when you saw something that said to you, I need to make this my life. 7.
Yeah.
There are a lot of 7-year-olds out in that crowd.
Definitely.
They may become Ryan Marciniaks in the future, a wonderful educator.
I hope they're far better than I am.
Oh, no, you're fantastic. But you know whom they might also be? Jeremy Hansen,
Yep.
who's going to be Canada's first astronaut to go around the moon. We're watching the moon today.
Yeah.
Jeremy's across the way there in Niagara Falls, New York. But he's going to be around the moon, and he's watching his first total solar eclipse today. I was thinking of him and wondering, what must his experience be as he looks at it on a screen and then thinks, maybe sometime after next September, I'm going to be seeing that for myself.
I imagine he feels that every time he sees the full moon as well, and just kind of stares up at it and thinking about how far away it is and yet how close it is. I mean, for him, there's a huge mental preparation in this adventure, but he is the perfect person to represent our country, our interests, and to inspire the next generation of young people to become astronauts.
You've inspired a lot of young people, I dare say, this weekend. You've certainly been a treat to have on our broadcast. Ryan Marciniak, thank you so very much. Astronomy in Action, watch for them. They have this incredible, inflatable, portable.
You can see it right over there.
I know, but I think it's out of our camera shot. Bright blue bubble. And there's been a huge lineup there all weekend. You get back to work over there. Your work with me is done, but I've enjoyed every moment. Thank you so very much. Katie Nicholson, what a pleasure to share this with you too over the last many hours. As you've experienced totality, we did see the corona, Katie. All the people around you who traveled to Niagara Falls from far and wide, they saw it too. Share some of their and your final thoughts with us.
I don't know about you, Heather. I had a very physical reaction. I just kind of felt heavy. I don't know if it was an atmospheric shift or it just really washes over you when you're in that moment of totality. So for me, that was just an incredible experience.
And overall, have we made an eclipse chaser out of you? This is what I need to know.
I don't know. I'll tell you what we have. We have definitely got some new eclipse chasers here. You might remember this morning, Heather, I talked to 2 dads who had staked out this area for their daughters. They wanted to sort of experience the eclipse here with their daughters, and we sort of checked in with them. They got some great photos, and now they're already planning on doing this all over again in Iceland when there's another eclipse. So whatever small
Katie, we have a moment or two. We have a moment or two. Do you want to
inspire folks to go over?
Do you want to go over and see if they want to last
Maurizio?
Chloe? For sure, we have a moment or two, just a moment or two left with you. So go right ahead.
So, Tim, we checked in a couple of times.
Yeah.
Were you happy overall with what you saw?
Oh yeah, we were really happy. Were you guys happy?
And these are your daughters here.
My daughter here and her friend.
Yeah. And you guys are the reason for the trip. What was that like for you to experience this?
It was really fun because this is like first time ever experiencing it. It was fun like being here and telling each other that, oh look, the eclipse is like, it's totality, or oh, it's coming through the clouds. That was really fun.
And that moment of darkness and when everything started to change, how did that feel for you guys?
It was really cool because like you knew it was just like the mid-afternoon, but then it felt like it was like 8 o'clock at night because it was so dark and it was like colder because the sun wasn't here. But then if the clouds just peeked by, you could see like the totality of the sun, and it was really cool.
And so are you guys happy now that your dads came here so early and staked everything out for you? Because it's a pretty good spot, eh?
Yes, thank you.
Was it worth spending the entire day out here camped out?
Absolutely, yeah.
And you guys mentioned you were thinking about already planning for another eclipse now?
I think so. We've heard there's one in Iceland in 2028.
Right, start saving.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Start saving, you too. Yeah.
And next time you guys get the spots.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll do the setup. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great, safe trip home back to Virginia. So, Heather, all day we've been talking to people who are just so enamored by those small glimpses they were able to get. I mean, we weren't completely blocked out from the show. We did have those moments, and I, in some ways, feel that maybe that made the crowd appreciate it a little more. You just sort of heard the oohs and the ahs and the delight ripple through whenever we would get those glimpses, and maybe that made it a little more special here in Niagara Falls.
Katie, what a pleasure. As I mentioned, thank you so very much for your closing thoughts. And what would I say at this point? You knew heading in, this was my, as it maybe was yours, first total solar eclipse. I didn't know what to experience, much like Jeremy Hansen. What will we feel? Now, working, it's a little bit different. So I'm just going to take some time away and reflect on all of this. But to listen to the people behind, the joy, that shared experience of watching something so much bigger, and then to see the corona through the clouds, just such a memorable moment for them and then me to share in that with them. There is truly a sense of more and a connection to something more. So it is profound. And I can see why people look at that and think, I need to see another one of those. As Katie was mentioning, I think we got the dates wrong. It's actually 2026. Iceland, Greenland, Spain. That is the next total solar eclipse, as you want to perhaps save, as Katie was suggesting, and become an eclipse chaser yourself. In Canada, it is 2044. So hopefully you enjoyed every moment that we shared together. I want to thank my colleagues all along the path of totality, our many teams that worked, trust me, very, very hard to bring it to you. And I want to thank you for joining us wherever you are in the country. Mostly partial eclipse, but virtually everyone in Canada sharing in that common moment together. It was a pleasure to be with you. It was a privilege. And I want to thank you. You've been watching special coverage on CBC News. I'm Heather Hiscox. Let's bring you some more of the very memorable sights and sounds from this extraordinary day.
So this is Lower Simcoe. We're going to keep moving over to Union Station. Someone had their camera set up. GO train lurching into Union. It's nice that this part of the sidewalk is finally reopened. The longest time you'd have to cross to the south side of Union. It's not or front, that's not a very inviting stretch of sidewalk to walk along over there. We still have 2,500 viewers. Thank you guys. All right, we're gonna keep moving here as the last thing I want is to pick up a copyright music match on this one. There we go. There's still a lot of police lights on Front Street. Niagara Falls charged $100 for parking. Hey, that is supply and demand. Apparently something like 1 million people were heading to Niagara Falls. I bet a lot of people changed their mind and didn't go when they saw the cloud cover. Those police lights still flashing away. Straight ahead, we'll go see what that's all about. Yes, I say that ironically. We're at York Street. There's the view to the south. A Peter says security incident at Union. Oh, you're just speculating? Well, we're going over that way. Nice Corvette. Well, Front Street is open.
Ah, ya. Es que yo veía esto.